Hey there, it's Cass. Today we're going to be continuing my series where I redesign all of the main cast from the first comic I ever made. Last time we redesigned Charlotte, the main character and ace of the group. Today we're going to take a look at one of the bigger redesigns I had planned for the hacker of the group. Let's jump right into the video, and I hope you enjoy! Alrighty, so, like I said, we're going to be redesigning the hacker of my comic, The Underground. His name was originally Uday, following my teenage weeb phase, in which every character had to have a cool Japanese name. He originally looked like this, a young man in a black suit with spiky black hair and a fun, kinda edgy neon green stripe in it. Although it might be kinda hard to tell that he had a neon green stripe because all of the pictures that I can actually find of him were only ever in black and white, since I was kind of copying the stereotypical comic book manga format, and also I really just wasn't that great at drawing when I was in high school. It's a good thing that we always have time to learn and improve, though. I decided to make his redesign a lot more extreme than Charlie's and change a lot more than I did with her initially, because while I love his original backstory and a lot of his other character elements, I didn't want every character of mine to be your stereotypical white, straight, dude, bro, and girl. There are multiple genders and tons of other sexualities, and also not everyone's white, and I think that my redesign of this comic should reflect that. It's always good to diversify your old ideas. And I think it's important that people like me admit that, while we were in high school, we didn't really think about that sort of thing. I wasn't even out of the closet in high school, so I never thought about making a gay character. And if I'm totally honest, most of my characters in high school were just different representations of myself, so most of them looked like me. And I'm your stereotypical white dude, so yeah. Back onto his character, though. Uday isn't just a hacker, but is sort of an internet phenomena. He doesn't go by his real name online and functions sort of like a one-man anonymous, a kind of chaotic neutral vigilante who's responsible for quite a few corporate scandals, government security breaches. Basically, you name it, he's hacked into it. Because of both his infamy online and in certain social circles for the talents that he has, I decided to give him a code name that he would go by instead of using his legal name. The codename that I chose for him is Apollo. In Greek mythology, Apollo is the name of the god of light, music, and prophecy. And oh boy, in my comic, Apollo definitely has something of a god complex. He is smarter than you, he is prettier than you, and he absolutely wants you to know it. I always wanted Apollo to be a refreshing break from the typical trope of shy introvert nerd. Apollo is very extroverted. When he isn't committing corporate espionage or leaking photos of a high-ranking official having an affair, he is always at the biggest, most extravagant and exclusive parties in the city that you can find. I like to describe his fashion sense as something that people from the Hunger Games series in the Capitol would be wearing. Everything he puts on his body, from his shoes to earrings and accessories, is always top of the line and very expensive, often custom made. He's even designed his own glasses, which are his signature item. Much like Charlie's hover boots, I wanted to give Apollo something that represented his role on the team as well as who he is as a person. Apollo's glasses function similarly to what you might see in a lot of spy movies. They have a built-in camera function and essentially are mini computer screens that fit right over your eyes. Apollo can use these to monitor surveillance cameras that he's hacked into remotely, even when he's out in the city and not able to be at his desk, as well as using them to target other computers and connect with them to spy on what other people are up to. True to his personality, Apollo designed these spy glasses to look like a high-end fashion piece, with a sharp diamond-pointed design. Even his tech has to fit his aesthetic. Now, don't get me wrong, Apollo comes across very aloof when you first meet him, but there's a reason for it. He started off from a pretty modest family, one that couldn't afford to send him to a fancy college or hand him a high-paying corporate job working with computers. Apollo learned very early on in life that if he wanted something, he had to work for it, and he had to reach out and take it himself. So when you see him being confident in his abilities, about how he looks, about how he presents himself, it's because he's worked harder than any 10 people you know to achieve it and be able to have those things. Now that he has all of these luxuries, he never wants to let them go, and he lives by them. Apollo is someone who knows his worth, and if you want him to work for you, you're gonna have to pay top dollar for it, because he knows he deserves it. Apollo starts off working for Charlie's father in the underground as the team's hacker for the paycheck. Since Charlie's dad runs a major pharmaceutical company, Apollo knows he's got the kind of money that can afford his price tag. Because of this simple reason for joining the team, he starts out as kind of a loner amongst the others, not really getting along with people like Charlie who are super hot-headed and stubborn, or some of the other teammates who are a little too rugged for his tastes. Over time, though, he starts developing a closer connection with them, and especially after almost losing one of their other teammates during a mission, starts to open up to them more. He and Charlie develop kind of a snarky older brother and brat little sister relationship that's very cute. Charlie absolutely hates being in the same room with him when he's standing up. Apollo is very tall, he stands at over 6.5 feet, while Charlie barely hits 5 feet, and she hates feeling so short next to him. He often calls her Shorty or Short Stuff to get her riled up because of it. So, as you've probably seen so far, I've changed a lot of Apollo's original design to make it more unique. He originally wore a very bland white dress shirt with black dress pants and a dark gray vest, which didn't really speak to his personality enough in my opinion. Apollo really likes to stand out, and he likes to be just a little edgy with his fashion. I decided to give him some shiny black leather skinny jeans, designer label of course, as well as a long black trench coat that has his signature neon green color on the inside layer. As for the dress shirt, well, forget it. I decided a sheer sleeveless bodysuit would be much more his speed, and I honestly really love how he looks with it. I wish I was this level of extra. I also replaced what were your very typical boring brown dress shoes in his original design with some pretty rockin' green and black platform heels. Apollo has never cared for gendered clothing, and it's not uncommon to see him in heels, a skirt, or even the occasional dress if he finds one he likes. He's never been insecure about how masculine he is just because of how he dresses, and I think that's something very neat about him. Apollo's sexuality is something I only ever really touched on once in the original comics, and it was honestly mostly out of a need to ship the edgy hacker with the cute doctor character, so I've changed that around a bit too. Apollo is asexual. He just doesn't vibe with the idea of sexual attraction and prefers to focus on himself and his friends as his support system while he's looking for the right person. Someone who supports him in the fact that he's ace and also just really likes to focus on himself and his work. That's all for now on Apollo. He's a brilliant hacker, a confident partier, and a really fun person to be around, if you can get past that layer of self-absorbedness. I wanted to talk about something not comic related for a minute though. First, I'm sorry for missing last week's video. I honestly completely forgot that it was Easter and that my dad's family was getting together for the first time in almost a year and a half to celebrate. So I was away on a hiking trip with them. I didn't even realize until it was too late for me to record a video, so I'm really sorry about that. I hope you guys can understand. Second, this marks the first video I've ever done while drawing into a completely new drawing program. I finally made the leap from Paint Tool Sci to Clip Studio Paint. It's honestly a really great program, and it feels kind of like the love child of Paint Tool Sci and Photoshop, which is perfect for what I need for my work. I'm testing out a lot of functions within the program in this video as I'm drawing though, so it took me quite a bit longer to finish this than my usual videos do. Who knew adjusting to a new program could be so jarring? I think there are a few points in the video where I just won't draw anything for a second or two because my brain is going, where did the Shift Hue button go? Or how do I flip my canvas back and forth and look for errors? I apologize that there was a little bit of a learning curve, and because of that, my shading style and stuff is all a little bit different in this video. I'm already starting to become much more comfortable with the program though, and it has a couple of features that I really enjoy that Paint Tool Sci just didn't have. For example, I can actually put text into things now. That's so nice, you have absolutely no idea how much I've missed that. But anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's take a look at the final product.